Hello, my name is Evans Mensah, and you can relive all the fun and excitement on Top Story, Newsnight, and of course, Ghana Connect via podcast. All you need to do is to log on to myjoyonline/podcast. Search for your favorite show and relive the moment. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
This is Joy News Today. I am Benjamin Akapo. Let's get into our very first story. Now, police in WALEWALE in the West Mamprusi municipality say they have declared war on armed robbers following a robbery incident last Saturday. The robbery attack, which occurred over the weekend, saw several passengers robbed at gunpoint by 3 armed robbers who had blocked a stretch of the Tamale-Bolga Highway near WALEWALE. Municipal Police Commander DSP Cosmos Awe made the declaration as the police intensify a manhunt for the attackers. The commander, however, called on residents in the area to help in the war against the robbers by volunteering information about suspicious characters and their activities. DSP Cosmos was speaking after the police raided several Fulani communities along the highway in search of suspects.
They must rise up to help us because this thing is happening within the community here. You see, so when they don't volunteer information, it will be difficult. But we are doing our best, and we are coming out to fight them. We are waging a war against them from now, so it's not going to be easy. Right. We will do our best, because we are picking information that these people killed them from Bolga. They were trailing somebody. A team that operated in WALEWALE, because that has happened in WALEWALE, they monitored a businessman who was coming to buy building materials and came and collected the money from him. So they are from his own place, because they know that he's carrying money and they followed him here to take the money. This is what we are gathering. That was their target. So once it has happened, we are going to strategize and we'll fight.
We shall be getting in touch with our correspondent to bring you the latest on that development. But for now, Director General of Police Public Affairs, ACP Kwesi Ofori, has assured that there are strategic interventions to hold the activities of criminals. His comments come on the back of incessant attacks and various crimes recorded in parts of the country lately, including the Volta and northern regions. He spoke in an interview. This is what he had to say.
To fight highway robberies wherever they are in the country, especially Bono East and the Northern Corridor. And we are determined to do that. Our observation pinpoints to the fact that the situation has been very perennial. It is a perennial legacy that needs to be stopped. And the Acting Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufu Dampare, has pledged to the people of Ghana that we're going to stop it. And as a result, we deploy special anti-robbery task force to the eastern region, specifically Afram Plains, the Samankasi areas, and then in the Bono East, that is Kajeji, Kwamadanso, Yeji, through Techiman, and all other places, and we are determined to stop it. Our men on there carrying out special tax operations, targeted operations, as well as maintaining general law enforcement on those routes. And we can say that things are moving on very well. Yesterday, in the eastern region of Afram Place, for instance, we arrested 21 people with various arms, ammunitions, and implements adapted to cause harm and mayhem. And we are so determined. In fact, we are sweeping all those corridors, to make sure that the good people over there live in peace and security. At Abesim or in that environment should assist the police as we unravel the mystery about the murder of these 2 young men and what we saw in the fridge or freezer. It is very unfortunate, And I believe that all of them need to rally behind the police so that we get to the bottom of the matter. It is a lone crime or in partnership with others, and for what purpose? All these things need to come to the fore, and we may count heavily on the people of Abesim. And as the acting inspector general, appeal to the chiefs and people of Abesim to support the police in his effort, to get to the bottom of this matter. Secondly, also, the inspector general appealed to the family, to put up a liaison person so that we can work with, and see to the logical conclusion of this case. And so far, so good. All assurances from the services of the clinical psychologist from our counseling department have been met, and the team is now back. And we believe that the relationship might yield, very fruitful outcome.
ACP Kwesi Fori there. Let's take you up north now, where torrential rains have left parts of the region submerged. The downpour, which lasted about 3 hours yesterday, left scores of people trapped in their homes for hours. It took a joint team of personnel of the National Disaster Management Organization and the Ghana National Fire Service to rescue some of them. This morning, there are fears, some residents saying that their situation may be aggravated should Burkinabe authorities go ahead with their planned spillage of the Bagri Dam. We'll take you there live and speak to our correspondents. But first, let's bring back a report filed by my colleague Martina Bugri, who was also affected by the rain.
These are visuals of daring residents who waded through the flood waters to safer areas in their neighborhood. Residents say massive efforts was put in by the fire service to rescue some residents who were trapped in their homes.
Yes, we were compelled to invite Ghana National Fire Service to come to our favor, or else we could have been able to rescue people from their homes, including children, adults. Look at that house standing over there, full of adults. They couldn't be able to come out. We were compelled to invite fire service, together with NATO, to come and help us save lives. And indeed, they have done it. We were able to rescue. They swam up to that house and rescue all those people.
How many people did they rescue?
6 people and about 4 children. Well, it took them time because they needed to make risk assessments, which way they can use to get into the main homes so they can get the people. Getting the right path into the houses was very difficult. It took them time. So they have to race and then just get search and then manage and get to the house.
A house collapsed in the Four neighborhood whilst motorbikes were swept away. A commuter said he was almost swept off by the flood waters too. Some residents called on government to intervene.
Yes, today is my first time. That's my room. I'm working down there. Since this is my first time. I didn't see some before on this road. So across first bridge, that was the second bridge. So I reached the middle and I saw that the rain to want to push me inside the hole. So I returned back that I should come back and come and wait here. So after the rain, the erosion go down, I said I'll continue my journey.
It's not be easy because as of today, none of us can go to Tamale. Any attempt, you may even lose your life. As we can see evidence by, I think the incumbent MP house has been flooded. Mutoki, former MP for Damangu, the house has been flooded. And so many houses, we can talk of thousands of houses has been got stranded. They can't even come out of their houses. So we are actually pleading for government intervention.
For Mr. Dan and Mr. Mumini Zakaria, they want government investigate engineers who supervised the construction of a bridge 2 months ago they believe triggered the heavy floods this afternoon.
Bridge constructed not less than 6 months now. In fact, look at the flooding there. When they were even working on it, we asked them to make sure the gravel goes up. But now they have just wasted government money because now, when you come to see the place, the one bridge alone cannot serve the road. People have blocked up the other side and the other side again. a lot of people have locked up. So what we need is that the government should come out and make sure any engineer who supervises work and the work doesn't go proper, they should query him. Other than that, Ghana will never develop. We are just wasting government money.
3 solid bridges. It takes the water from Garaba Lodge, it takes water from Agric, it takes water from community and other link roads. Now this small bridge, how can it contain the water? We're just lucky that the rain has subsided. Assuming it continues. Now people's homes are submerged. That's submerged in water. You know, so it's time government make sure that when they are allocating or they are giving projects, they make sure the right person gets the project and do a proper job so that at the end it will save Ghana a lot of money. But if you do shoddy work, it is our money they will use to pay them, and then the next moment we have to call for another project. It doesn't make sense.
Well, as residents count their losses, the Ghana Meteorological Agency is warning of more rain ahead as they urge residents to brace themselves. Joshua Asamoah speaks for the agency. He spoke on the AM show.
What makes Tamale's case peculiar is that the storm stagnated over that area for a very long time before it drifted to the Upper West and Savannah regions. So the heavy rains they had was because of the stagnation of the storm, which affected the northern portions of the country over Tamale and more areas in the northern region before it went to the Savannah and Upper West regions. So it's conditions that they will be experiencing because they are still in the rainy season over the northern portions. So it's not really an odd situation. But I think, just like the man on the ground said, there are some factors that are local and activities by man which will cause some of these flooding events to occur. But the rainfall that occurred was not really out of the ordinary.
Now, before the northern region of Tamale had its rain yesterday, we've had some rain as well in the upper west region where we saw some roads and all that damaged. Would you say it still has to do with the rainy season because the rains were quite heavy?
Yes, it still has to do with the rainy season. The rainy season, Northern Ghana has one rainy season. So it starts somewhere in June, July, there, and then goes all the way to September before it subsides, and then they enter into the dry season. But for us in the south, we get 2 rainy seasons. The major one will come in April, May, June, and then we'll get a break around July, August, before we enter into the minor rainy season in September, October, and November. So before we will enter into our minor rainy season, the north will continue to be experiencing some of these rains. And then the upper west rains came in August, which is still the peak of the rainfall season in the northern sector. So it's still the rains they are getting because they are in their peak rainfall season. It's nothing really. It's very likely we'll get another rainstorm this week. Hopefully between Wednesday and Thursday.
Now, despite the fears of some residents that their situation may be aggravated should Burkinabe authorities go ahead with the planned spillage of the Bagri Dam, NADMO says they are well prepared to reduce the impact of the spillage. Northern Regional Director Alhassan John Kweku gave the assurance also on the AM show.
We are still in the midst of the rains, and then the education too is ongoing. So we are appealing to residents, especially those of our people who are living in those areas that are likely to be affected and the flood-prone areas, to be cautious about their own life, because it is important they take their lives very seriously so that we don't lose any life longer. For instance, in the Chelponi area, there was a situation where some 3 young ladies went to do washing in a stream. And then after they have done the washing, then they decided to swim. And then the water carried them away. And then in Bumpuru, for instance, a woman and the daughter went to farm. And then on their return, there was heavy downpour. Instead of them to stay at a particular place for the water to recede in the river before they cross, they attempted crossing and the water carried them away. So we are just appealing to residents. Water is not something that we can be playing with. So when it is raining, you get a place to stay so that when the water recedes, then you can go about your normal work. But for now, in the East region, even though it is raining in Gambaga, the situation is under control. NADMO is positioning itself strategically to deal with any situation that will arrive. as a result of this. But the impact, the spillage has not been done yet. And we are monitoring the situation. As and when we get any other information, then we'll share with you.
Well, on the back of all that, my colleague Martina Bugri reports that the floodwaters have receded in parts of the region. She's been visiting some communities and joins us on the phone with some updates. Martina, I know you've been visiting some of these communities. What information specifically have you gathered? And tell us about your own experience as you were personally affected.
Residents are calling on the city authorities and NATMO to look at some structures they think have blocked the waterway. For instance, in Bitin, they are saying a wall constructed stop the water from flowing through, and then it gets to the wall, hits the wall, and return into their room. And so you go to most homes now, and what they are doing is those who can don't have the energy are cleaning. But others are looking at the way the weather is still very cloudy and think that it's better to just wait and see what will happen. And then subsequently, when the place gets clearer a bit, they will be. Generally, the feeling is people are a bit apprehensive, I should say. They do not know what can happen any moment from now, considering how heavy the clouds keep on gathering. And so they are hoping that at least for the next few days, we'll be spared some few days so that the water that has come in will dry up and probably maybe some subsequent rains. But for now, I must say that people are not excited about what is happening. Right.
Can you describe for us the current weather situation? We know the waters have receded, but are clouds still gathering, I should say?
Yes, clouds have gathered. This morning we've had some few showers already, and the sun was up within 10 minutes. It went back, and the clouds are gathering again. From where I stand, I look in front of me, and the whole place getting dark and dark. It started just a bit lighter, but the whole place is getting darker. And so most people you find are trying to move to places they think are safer. And I'm moving from Bitin, where it flooded yesterday, heading back into town because of what I'm seeing.
Right. So how, right before we wrap, how badly affected have people been? I have seen images of people's entire homes submerged. How bad has the damage been up to this point?
People have eventually lost everything. Electrical gadgets were destroyed, some furniture, beddings, and a lot. So those whose homes were totally submerged, they have nothing to fix. They only probably would dry them for a while and see if they can fix it. And so most people are worried that with what has happened already, some people are not too rich. And so it means that more burden on them. Some people have had to quit going to work today because they want to stay and do some cleaning and see if they can salvage some few things. They think probably they will be able to pay.
Martina, thank you so much for connecting with us. Martina Bugri is our Northern Regional Correspondent. Let's move on to other stories now. And stakeholders in the artisanal fisheries across the country are calling for a new approach in the fight against the illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing in Ghana's fishing industry. According to them, the recent yellow card the European Commission issued to Ghana is a grave concern and should push the Ministry of Fisheries to devise better approaches in fighting the menace. At a news conference at Winneba, the canoe and gear owners indicated they were directly affected by the decline in fish stock and would want the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture to succeed, but want a holistic approach. Richard Kwejunyako has more in the following report.
By the Canoe and Fishing Gear Owners Association of Ghana, centered on the illegal, unreported and unregulated fisheries activities and the ongoing operations to enforce the fisheries laws and regulations against it. Chairman of the Canoe and Fishing Gear Owners Association of Ghana, Nana Kweja, implored the Fisheries and Aquaculture Ministry and then the Fisheries Commission to try other innovative means of addressing the depletion fish stocks in Ghana.
We have said earlier on, during the close season period, that the no IUU pronouncement by the ministry is a laudable one. We support it because business can no more be as usual. our stocks are down, and drastic measures has to be taken to address the problem. However, the absence of a comprehensive plan and strategies is not helpful in that regard. We have also said that over-reliance on enforcement is unsustainable. It is expensive. The challenges we are faced with is a wake-up call to relook at the approach to the fight against IUU fishing. There is the need for a comprehensive plan and strategies that focuses not only on enforcement and deterrence, but largely on compliance, which is cheaper and more sustainable.
He indicated, as key stakeholders in the artisanal fisheries, they are highly concerned about the dying state of the artisanal fisheries in the country, coupled with a recent yellow card issued by the European Commission.
We are highly concerned about the dying state of our fisheries. The recent yellow card placement by the EU Commission is equally of concern to us. It is an indication that we have not done much in combating IUU fishing. We have therefore mobilized ourselves as canoe and gear owners to effectively participate in the governance and management of our fisheries, thereby contributing to the effort by Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development and the Fisheries Commission towards halting and reversing the decline in our fisheries and rebuilding our stocks.
The Canoe and Fishing Gear Owners Association of Ghana is calling on the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development and the Fisheries Ministry to institute quarterly meetings with them as a platform for engagement. Richard Kwejenyakon, Joy News, Cape Coast.
Let's turn our gaze now to the Classroom Project. Yes, indeed, this is a multimedia group's initiative with support from the Star Ghana Foundation to construct and rehabilitate 2-week school blocks in the central and northern regions. With the Classroom Project, we are urging you to give in kind and in cash towards fixing these schools. Yes, there are 1,001 needs we have as a country, but waiting for government to solve all of our problems is definitely not the way to go, because that seems practically impossible. But as the President said, we should be citizens and not spectators. We are encouraging you to explore the role of philanthropy or voluntary giving in promoting the desired development in our localities. That definitely would get us somewhere with waiting for government's intervention or contribution. In case you do not know why your giving matters in this Classroom Project, watch this.
This is Breman Jamre's Ground Zero. It was here 4 years ago that 6 children crashed to their death in a building collapse that shook the nation. Today, some of the children who survived that accident play in the leftover rubble. Joy News' coverage of the disaster moved non-governmental organizations to build the structure which now houses some of the children. That aside, not much has changed. This is the Jamra Roman Catholic School. It's only a few meters away from the Methodist school that collapsed. The scenes here are way too familiar.
The building, sometimes when someone just hits his hands on the wall, you see that the wall is shaking. And someone will say, hey, it's going to collapse, so it's going to... Then you try to get out of the class. Someone will come and tell you that I dreamt that the school has collapsed. So when you are sitting there, you say, hey, I don't want to sit near the corner. This one dreamt this, so...
There are cracks on the wall. That's made us think that our building is a death trap. And when it's when the wind flows, the building shakes, and we thought it is going to break. And there's darkness in the room. When it is 10 o'clock going, the dark comes to our class because there was no windows in the class, and the heat. When the teacher is teaching, we have to use book to fan ourselves. Due to that, we cannot be concentrated.
She leaned out of the window.
The school was put up largely by community members of Jamra. It is now run by the government and yet has seen very little infrastructure development. Much of the walls have open cracks and fallen roofs. Last year, villagers here worried it may come crashing down, pull down 2 classrooms, moving students to already congested spaces.
This is the 4th public school in this community. This one here alone has close to 600 students. While so much has been done in the other schools to bring up infrastructure to match up the numbers, so much more remains undone in many of the other schools. This leaves many children like the vulnerable ones in here today studying at the peril of their lives.
In the heart of the town, I have come to meet Nana Kwesi Enin III. He is the Krontihini of this small town.
Years ago, everybody expected the government to do everything. Now, the demand on the government has increased. The years ago expectation cannot work now. The community is willing and ready to, as it were, provide communal labor to support any NGO, any philanthropist, any institution that will want to come and rebuild the school building for us.
The warning bells from February 17, 2017, when that school accident happened here, rings loud in the minds of these children. It looks like it's only a matter of when, and not if, that they too would see their own classroom block come tumbling down. Justice Bedu, Joy News, Breman Jamra in the Central Region.
Now, this is the rationale behind the classroom project. You don't want to wait and be told the bad news when you can prevent it from happening now. The hashtag is Give for Change on the classroom project. For all your support and assistance, Momo transactions should go to this number. Pay attention. 0593 038 832. I repeat, 0593 038 832. You can see it on your screen as well. And the name on it is Joy FM, or to the Access Bank account number 00901010549191. That is the Castle Road branch. The branch code is 009 and the Swift code is ABNGGHAC. Let's together help make a difference in the lives of the members of the Breman, Jamra and Tolon communities. You may also reach us at our front desk for further inquiries. On to matters bordering on the latest CDD survey, and majority of Ghanaians sampled in a survey say they are not confident in the ability of the President Akufo-Addo-led government to protect financial resources and curb corruption in the next 4 years. The respondents are equally said to be less optimistic in the ability of government to reduce crime. This is the outcome of a post-election research conducted by the Center for Democratic Development. President Akufo-Addo won the 2016 elections on the back of a pledge to deal ruthlessly with corruption. Anti-corruption crusaders have since 2017 demanded urgent steps to deal with the canker, which they argue persists. A cross-section of Ghanaians were asked whether they thought things could change in the next 4 years as he completes his final term. Director of Research at the CDD, Dr. Edem Salome, has been presenting the responses. Joseph joins us with more. We'll bring you more details of that.
In terms of people's views about whether corruption can be curbed in the next 4 years. Again, still on the government's confidence in confidence in the ability of the government to consolidate and expand policy initiatives. We see that there's an equal split of respondents in their government's ability to consolidate the gains in the planting, rearing for food and job programs in the next 4 years. But the majority express lack of confidence in government's ability to expand the $1 million per constituency initiative. That's a whooping 61% are saying that they don't think that the $1 million per constituency initiative will be fulfilled. So in view of all this, what are the priorities that citizens are expecting government to pay attention to? As in many of our surveys, except the pre-election survey that we conducted last year, unemployment has topped that list again, followed by infrastructure and roads. Education comes in third. Management of the economy comes in fourth, and then health third, which is a little surprising in view of the fact that we are still in a pandemic. But these are the top priorities that citizens are saying that the government should pay attention to. And so, well, if these are the priorities, where should resources be allocated? Again, we asked citizens the priority for additional government investment. Again, we see education up there, infrastructure, healthcare, and agriculture as the 4 areas that Ghanaians actually recommend for additional investment in case government wants to increase spending.
Well, the NDC and the MPP have been reacting to the survey.
And I don't want to get, but we feel there's a culture of impunity when it comes to government officials. And the more that happens day in, day out, the more issues occur. When violence occurs during elections, people have behaved in a certain way and no actions are taken, then how would Ghanaians feel confident that corruption will be dealt with? So I think it goes without saying. And don't forget, things have happened even since, which were not captured in this survey. So to be interesting, I mean, that is one aspect of the survey which should not surprise any Ghanaians, and it should be a wake-up call for the government to begin to deal with issues pertaining to corruption, not only when it applies to the opponents or your opponents. Look at what is happening in the Puni trial, for example. The lengths to which people are going to keep a judge who has been deemed to has made comments he shouldn't have made, and they want to bring him back. So you can see that when it is
46, so it's only a 1% increase. Go and check them. You see, before you do this, you should have got I have my copy of the 2020 pre-election survey here. Oh, of course, if you look at the hula baloo people are talking about, and you look at the survey results, you will be amazed. I mean, look at what people are saying. It means that there's so much propaganda than the actual work that's going on. That's the way I see from the results. And we must look at actuals than propaganda.
There was also the point about your MPs as well as the president's own votes dropping. They make the point that as a result of your MPs not doing well, and also the president himself.
Listen. This republic started in 1992. MPP had 0 in parliament in 1992. In 1996, we rose to 62 out of 200-seat parliament. In 2000, when President Kufuor won for the first time, we rose again to 98. In 2004, we rose again to 100 and something. So MPP is not a party that has been losing parliamentary seats. Not at all. So you must check the history of parliamentary seats before you ask this question. I think on the whole, we've been doing better because gradually from 92, we have been increasing our seats.
This is Joy News Today. When we return, we bring you business. Do stay.
Hi there, welcome to business. My name is Daryl Kwao. The Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, GREDA, says housing demand from the diaspora and first-time visitors to Ghana has seen a boost despite the pandemic. It says many like to self-isolate in the comfort of their own facility when they arrive in Ghana. First Vice President of GREDA, Stephen Ablometi Deborah, says some members benefited from the development. He was speaking to Joy Business ahead of this year's EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair, themed home ownership to build or to buy.
I would say that from Grader's perspective, the demand for housing has still been very, very increasing, because if you look at the effective demand, which is about 30% of the deficit, which is over 2 million right now, it keeps on increasing from time to time. COVID has not really affected demand for houses. Rather, what has happened is that, in the past, people who live abroad, when they are coming home, they can comfortably come and visit family and friends, stay there for a week, two, and go back. But during the pandemic, a lot of people were closing their homes to some of these people. So then it brought the attention to people that they need to own their own homes. So there have been fairly an increment in terms of inquiries for people to buy properties that belongs to them. So yes, it's still working and really working very well.
So we could say that presented you a good opportunity as a housing, as a grader.
Yeah, it did, absolutely. Yes, it did.
You benefited from it?
Very much so, very much so.
But still, with the indigents, those who haven't traveled, but they still have the need for housing, what is the way forward?
It's about having a very cheap mortgage facility so that people will be able to own properties. You realize that most people in Ghana are earning under 4,000 Ghana cedis. And the cheapest affordable house you will find on the market is about 100,000 Ghana cedis, which means that the individual, if he's going to service a mortgage, which he will buy a house that is 100,000, he will need to pay up to about 50%, having paid taxes and other things, to be able to sustain servicing that mortgage. So it's apparently very difficult for people to be able to buy if your income stream is very low. So the way forward is you either have to jump on the incremental build wagon, or you try to just get maybe yourself, your spouse, and then you double up your income so that you'll be able to qualify for these mortgages and be able to own a home.
In other news, Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture, Frimpong Addo, is urging individuals and key players in the private sector to return to their roots and invest in agriculture. According to him, this will boost public-private partnerships in the sector and thus grow the agric economy substantially. He spoke to Joy Business during a donation to farmers at Adafwa in the Greater Accra region.
Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture, Frimpong Addo, intimated that Ghana will be food sufficient if people invest in agric in their homelands. According to him, when individuals invest in their communities, it will increase public-private partnerships, which will boost the economy.
This is what we call PPP, Public-Private Partnership, to promote agriculture. Coming here, it has been a revealing experience. I've witnessed certain things that I think Ghana, if we take some of these little things serious, shortages that we experienced this year, we can put this in the bud. We can nip this in the bud, and then there'll be food sufficiency all year round. If this young lady, in her small way, has been able to organize these farmers, and you could see they are so happy. It didn't take so much to put this together. I think it behoves on us to do more, and then the private sector, wherever you come from, I'm sure she comes from this area, that's why she's taking special interest. So wherever you come from, especially if it is an agricultural area, just go out there and give them the little support that you can.
Founder of Farm for Livelihood Association, Isaac Ajauto, said the donation will facilitate the activities of farmers in the communities. Farm for Livelihood Association is an NGO that supports women and people living with disability at Adafwa in the Greater Accra region.
And the Farm for Livelihood Association, that's the mother association, the NGO, we have what we call Farm for School. So Farm for School is farm that we set for school children in schools in Adan East District. So these farms that we have school children who do not have enough support from parents, or do not have anybody at all to take care of their education. So we set these farms, and then holidays and weekends, these children work on the farm. And then the proceeds is used to pay for their education. And we also have what we call Farm for Disabled People. So persons with disability in Adan district, we make sure we keep them in their various communities. They don't move to the city and be begging for alms for survival. So what we're doing is that we set farm for them too. those who can farm, those who cannot farm, and then the ladies, we also establish some business for them.
And that's business. There's more coming up at the top of the hour on the marketplace. Up next, sports.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the sports segment with me, Oreku Wampofo. We start off with some local stories where former board chairman of the National Sports Authority, Kojo Bonsu, says that Kumasi Asante Kotoko should invest in a lot of resources in their youth system if they want to get back to their glory days.
I think it's all development. If you don't develop, you wouldn't be able to do well. And I think what Kotoko should do, they should go back to the days of Anochi. That is the junior side. Nurse them young, and you get players who are committed. The team doesn't have money to buy top players, and I believe that if Kotoko want to go back to the old times, they should be able to find good players who will come and support the team and win laurels. But if they don't do that, it's going to be very difficult, because now football is money, is teamwork, is player, and the team that you have. So I believe that is what Kotoko should do.
An investment, more investments must be made in the juvenile system.
Yeah,
within
So if you develop them, definitely you're going to get 4 or 5 who are committed to the team and the set pattern that Kotoko plays, the style. And also, we have a problem with the technical side. You take a coach, 6 months, the coach is sacked. We need to be very consistent. And with time, if you do something, it will really work. But if you bring in a coach, 6 months, the coach go, you bring a player from Brazil, 2 weeks, he goes to take whatever is being sacked, there's no consistency. Those days, you realize that we had consistency. We had a school in Kumasi called Radisco, and all these players were there. Albert Suman, he used to be called Baby Pele, very good player. You have Sam, all of them went to Radisco. So it was like a graduation from youth into the senior team. And look, this coach that I was talking about, this Thomas Kates, really also developed the team. He was a Hungarian, but so disciplinarian. He took Kotoko to the African Cup finals.
And right before we wrap on Joy News today, don't you forget that you can make a difference by contributing to our classroom project. All you have to do is send your Momo transactions to the number 0593 038 832, 0593 038 832, or to our Access Bank account number 00901010549191. That's the Castle Road branch. The branch code is 009 and the SWIFT code is ABNGGHAC. Let's together help make a difference in the lives of the members of the Breman, Jamra and Tolong communities. You may also reach us at our front desk for further inquiries. It's a wrap on Joy News today. My name is Benjamin Akakwa and it's been a pleasure coming your way. Do check out more stories on myjoyonline.com. And some of those stories there. I've been to hell and back. Hammer of the last two shares his near-death experience with COVID-19. It's one you don't want to miss. There's also a man arrested for allegedly beheading 12-year-old boy in Mafi, Dover. And maybe wrapping with this one, I don't respond to rabble-rousers, that is the GNPC boss, to CSOs on ACA AGM deal. Check out more stories on myjoyonline.com. It's a wrap for Joy News today. Thank you for staying.